Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lightworker Secrets to Success, our brand new episode. We are so excited to have our featured guest today, Shawn La Faye. She is a spiritual healer, and we're going to learn a little bit more about her today. Brand new episode. Hold on, I can hear myself. Adam. There we go. Thank you. And so she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, how she got into, she's a jewelry maker. So she's going to tell us how she got into making these divine pieces of jewelry, and a little bit about her story, her background, and what she wants to see for 2021 and what she's wanting to envision and manifest. So we are so excited to have you here. Shawn, thank you so much. We'll let you kind of take it away, and then at the end, I'll show some pieces of your jewelry that you've created just for me.
Yes, just for you. Thank you so much for all of you for tuning in and listening to what I have to say, which is really super cool. So as she said, my name is Shawn La Faye from the Shawn La Faye Experience. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I currently reside in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've been here for about a good 9 years now. This place has definitely slowed me down and got me more in tune to my spiritual side, actually, because I moved from the fast hustle and bustle and got to a place where I can really hear, spirit talking to me. And so, as she said that I am a spiritual healer. I began my spiritual healing journey in the depths of Christianity. So I have been in every single religion, every single one from 24 until about 40, because I'm gonna be 50 years old in January. So I guess, about maybe 4 years ago, I was into all these different religions or whatever. So anyway, the last one I was in was Hebrew Israelites.
And I think that's where we know each other from.
Yes. And I was a so-called Hebrew Israelite, whatever. And one morning I just realized that I didn't want to eat meat anymore. I didn't want to live in a negative vibe. To me, that community is very negative. I'm not, trying to diss anybody or whatever, but they were just too negative for me, and I wanted to move on to something more positive. And then I watched a YouTube video, and I saw this girl wire wrap crystals, and I was like, I wonder if I can do that. And I picked up the wire, and lo and behold, I was able to make this jewelry. And so it started off with just me, making little stuff or whatever. And then I would hear other people say, oh, I have a headache, or I can't sleep, or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, this crystal goes with that, and that crystal goes with that. And then I realized that I was tapping back into my physical healing gift that I was given in when I was like 25 or whatever. I have been used to heal several people physically. People had cancer. People were about to die. This man was having a heart attack next to me, and I put my hand on him, and he was saved. So I realized that I still had that gift of healing, because, being in Christianity, you're taught to shy away from spirituality and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought that it was wrong for some reason. I don't know why. And anyway, so here I am with the jewelry, and it's a very beautiful healing experience for me. It helps me to be creative. I'm doing it full time now because of the beard virus thing, totally took my job. I had a really nice little job and everything. And so it pushed me forward to let that job go and to completely rely on my gifts to make the way for me. And so that's basically what's been happening now. And what else did you ask me? Ask me questions, because I feel like
I didn't ask anything yet. However, well, I did have a question. So when you were in those religions, it made you feel like you kind of had to kind of tone down on your natural spiritual gifts, and it kind of made you, it left you feeling kind of guilty that you kind of had those, so you weren't like developing those, correct?
Yes, because I can also read oracle cards. And
yes,
being an astrologer and a numerologist and all of that kind of stuff, I've always naturally been that ever since a little girl. And so going through these different religions, they frown upon all of that kind of stuff. So I had to move away from my spiritual gifts. And it was just really like, I guess depressing would be a word, or just, I felt, oh, look at that baby. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. It was very oppressive. That's the word I'm looking for. I felt oppressed. Like I couldn't keep myself. And so now, you know, I'm in this space where I've been out of that for 4 years now, and I'm really free to just be who I want to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just dropped one of my necklaces. Sorry. Hold on, guys. I just got it.
I love that. And I'm curious you said that you take the crystals and you wire wrap them. Was that with like copper wire or
yeah. If you guys can see any of all the jewelry that I have on, I made it. So it's copper wire wrapped. And
what does that do? Is that just sort of increase the frequencies?
Yes, copper is a superconductor. It's a natural antimicrobial, and the CDC and the WHO has said that nothing can live on copper. No kind of bacteria whatsoever can live on copper. So all you have to do is like rub your hands on it, and you use like a hand sanitizer.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I wanted to show a couple pieces that, so she's made me 2 different sets. So the first set she made me when I told her about, you know, my energy work and being an angel activator, she goes, oh, I know exactly what you need. And I said, because at first she's like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, I wanted to be divinely downloaded to her what I needed. And I felt like, God would tell her what I needed. So the first thing she made me was this beautiful necklace, and everybody's like, "Oh, looks like a cross." I was like, "Well, it looks like an angel to me." So,
exactly. It like this is the first one to me too.
Yeah. So, and it has amethyst, and so the funny thing is, we were talking about, and you got to remind me of the stones because I don't know. The black stone
is tourmaline. The black stone is tourmaline, and that's a protecting stone. It keeps the EMF rays away from you, and it keeps negative energy away from you.
Yeah. And so, but the whole time she's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm like, okay. So then I was like, all right, she's going to make me some beautiful. But I was like, oh, I really want to tell her to put amethyst in there because it's my favorite. But I didn't say anything. So then she got done and she's like, okay, I'm done. I hope you really like it. And I saw the amethyst and I was like, I love it. So there's amethyst in there. And
it looks like a little angel to me too.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like to me. And then she made me these bracelets, and just look at the, I don't know why, but I get so happy when I see like coils, and it just makes me so happy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. So I have to be careful looking at her stuff because I'll want everything. But so this is one of the bracelets she made me with more of the tourmaline. And then this one has both of the stones again. And they just kind of hook into, and they're just so pretty. I mean,
they're very practical because, you know, like when you're trying to put on a bracelet by yourself, you know, it's kind of hard. So all you have to do is squeeze it to open it, and squeeze it to close it, and you can put it on and off by yourself. I like that.
And yeah, it's really nice. And then these are the earrings that she created for me. So they're really dangly. I like little dangle earrings. And then, so that was the first set. And when I got this package, it was wrapped with love. I mean, it was beautiful. She even gave me a card, and I was like, oh my gosh. And everything was just beautiful, wrapped up, perfect just for me. And then now I just literally got this in the mail the other day. So she was creating stuff, and I was like, I just love your stuff. So she created, let's see if you can see that. So here's the necklace. And you have to remind me.
So that's carnelian.
Oh, yeah.
The orange one is carnelian, and the yellow one is citrine. And
yeah.
Carnelian is good for your sacral chakra. It's good for your blood circuit, women's digestive system. And it's also good for your willpower. And the citrine turns negative energy into positive energy.
Yes.
And it also attracts prosperity.
And that's why I was like, I need that one. And then she made me a ring, so I could wear a ring. And that's the detail of that.
That is so pretty.
It's like you make it. Well, you make it and you're like, I created that.
Uh-huh.
And then here's the earrings that go with that. And this is actually what sold me on getting stuff, because I was like, I really like those earrings. And so she actually created the other two just to go with these earrings. So I like the dangles. I can't wear this stuff to work because I work with seniors, and I don't ever want to like snag myself on anything, but I love all this jewelry. When I do energy healings, I might put put a bracelet on, or put some earrings on, or the necklace, just for extra protection and extra divine guidance. And so the fun thing is that because of what's going on right now, and Deshawn's not working her normal job, right? And she's creating all this beautiful jewelry. She's actually started to be more of an entrepreneur, and she's starting to do these online parties where you can invite people. She would create whatever you wanted, and you can buy like what she has, or she can create whatever you want. So that is also something that I'm going to do shortly. I'm going to have a party for her, just because I love supporting women. I love supporting African-American women, and I love supporting entrepreneurs. So I'm going to do that. Huh?
I'm all three.
You're all three. You're all three. So, all right. So what else? Well, did anybody have questions? Because I know I've been talking kind of a lot. Anybody have questions for Deshawn?
I'm curious, if you were to design something for me, what kind of stones would you put in it?
Okay, so I would have to ask you, so what type of challenges have you been having lately, if any? Emotionally, because it's mostly like emotionally or physically, mentally.
Nothing really emotionally. I think I'm pretty connected there. Physically, I'm not working out maybe as much as I want to, or intend to.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much it right now. That's
for your willpower.
Yeah.
So I would probably do. So there's a book that I have too. That once we get off, I'll send everybody a link to this book. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. And it tells you all about these different stones, the top 10 stones and what their uses are. So you need something for your willpower. So that would be like your root chakra. So your drive and determination is your root chakra. So I would say like some red jasper. Do I have the red jasper? I thought I had a piece of it. I do, but I don't have it right here. But anyway, it's like a deep red, really pretty dark, like kind of like your shirt. And that helps you to clear out your root chakra, which is your drive and determination to go. So your solar plexus is the power, like the power to go, and your sacral chakra is your willpower, and your root chakra is your drive. So in men, I would always like try to get down to the root, because that's, you guys are very action orientated and stuff like that. And so you need something to help you go. Yeah. So I would say that. And then probably some citrine too, because it's always good. That's like one of my go-to crystals is citrine, because it does transmute negative energy into positive energy. So even just being lazy is kind of negative. So, you can just move that energy on out the way and get your natural stuff going, Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have a question?
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. So what made you said 4 years ago you got back into healing? Was there did something happen, or what happened that made you decide like I need to go back into healing?
I realized I had been in a 17-year narcissistic abuse relationship. So if anybody knows anything about narcissistic abuse, it is the worst abuse to even become cognizant of. And so it was about 4.5, 5 years ago, I realized that's what I was in, and I got out of it. And I healed myself and remembered I was a healer, and was in contact with so many different women that were also suffering from narcissistic abuse syndrome and stuff. And so I got into that whole genre and started a Facebook Live and started helping women and started making a jewelry, and then it just went from there. Mm-hmm.
That's very beautiful.
Yeah.
What is the most exciting thing about what you do and how you create?
When people give me free reign, like you do, like that, they'll say, oh, I have this going on or whatever, and just create something. And I intuitively just make it, because nothing is the same. They're always different. Nobody will ever have what you have, or, you know. And then when the person opens the package and they're like, I love it, or I show them the picture and they're like, I love it, that just warms my whole heart.
Yeah, I love it too. And when I first got my package, I was like, I love it. And then this came so fast. Like, I literally purchased this, what was it, like last week sometime? I think it was like last Sunday, or I think. And then she had it created within, like, she's like, I'm going to work on it tomorrow. I was like, yeah, no worries. Literally, I got it like 2 days later. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And she's so reasonable with her pricing. And so it makes it nice for us to want to purchase again and again.
I want people to have it and use it, because the purpose of it is to wear it every day. Even though it is beautiful, but I wear my jewelry every day because the copper helps with your blood flow. You know, it's healthy, healing jewelry, but it's pretty too. You know, so I want people to wear it, and, you know, like, wear it all the time and have different pieces to wear for different things, you know, because we're always changing and evolving every day. You know, we're not always happy, we're not always sad. You know, it's just, you need different rings for different things. So since I'm always outside talking, I made myself a copper ring, because I have to have my sanitizer to, you know, make sure I'm clean out in the streets. And then I have my tourmaline ring that I made for myself. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know. It's kind of far away. But then I have
You're freezing up a little
tiger's
bit.
eye ring. And then I have rose quartz. Oh, no. Can you see
just
me?
a little bit. Yeah, it's just
I
freezing
don't know
up
what to
a
do.
little bit. It's okay. It's probably
anything.
just the Wi-Fi. It's okay.
Oh,
I think we can hear you now.
Okay. And I have rose quartz and tiger's eye together. So rose quartz and tiger's eye together is a very powerful mixture of the crystal. Oh, just to let me say this too about crystals. Crystals grow in the ground just like plants, and they have energy just like plants and trees and all that kind of stuff. So they look like rocks, but they actually have what's called piezoelectricity inside of them. And the more you rub them, the more the electricity comes out. And if you guys have heard of argon energy or orgone or whatever,
I have one.
Yeah, the pressure of the pressure of the resin squeezing the crystals together makes the energy, because it's putting pressure on it and making the energy come out of them. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So when rose quartz and tiger's eye together, rose quartz is the one for like a broken heart, or, you know, some kind of emotional turmoil. It really helps you with that. And the tiger's eye is a protective stone. The more you handle your tiger's eye, the more protective it becomes of you. It's a very personal to you stone. So when you put them both together, it's protecting you and loving you and helping you heal. So that was the first stone that I got when I found out about my narcissistic abuse syndrome thing. I got this really big piece of rose quartz, and I put it on my heart. I'll never forget. I went to my first time buying a crystal, because, you know, Christianity, you know, you're not supposed to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I had my little crystal and I had it on my chest, and I went to sleep so well. I hadn't slept in a long time. So that's what, you know, and I said, okay, so rose quartz is the number one for sure. If you got any type of emotional anything, it's number one to help you with that. Yeah.
Well, as you were talking, I know we were talking about you were branding yourself, and I was like, she's the crystal alchemist.
I say crystal technician.
Oh, just crystal technician. Oh gosh, I like that too.
I'm curious on, what do you know about like quartz crystal? You know a lot about that?
Yes, and so clear quartz crystal is the master stone. So you can use it to clean any other crystal. It doesn't need to be cleaned itself, even though you can. And the way you clean the crystals is in the sunlight and the moonlight. And some can be washed in water, and some, you know, need to be smudged with.
Is that what this one is?
Yes. And so that stone there, you can program it with your intentions, and it'll become very personal to you. So whatever you want that stone to do, it's going to do it. Because you have to remember, all crystals have piezoelectricity in them, but they translate differently on what stone it is. So clear quartz crystal, it just has a strong piezo energy, electricity that can be programmed to whatever you want it to do.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a good pairing stone too. You pair it with other stones to amplify whatever that other stone is doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's good information. Rebecca, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm real curious about, you mentioned in your 20s, was that when you started healing?
yes.
Did you have something happen that triggered you to the realization that you could do that?
Well, yeah, I ended up in this, it was called the Flag Ministry in one of the churches I was in. And so I was very literal with that Bible. And it was like, it says that I can do all these things and more. It says that I have the power to do this and I can do that. And I was, so I'm in this flag ministry and we're waving these flags and they're telling me that I'm changing the atmosphere every time I wave the flag and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm doing it. And so there was this lady and she wanted us to come over to her house to pray for her because she had cancer. And so when we get over to her house, I could see this big black dark cloud over a house that was 2 houses down from this lady's house. And I said, do you guys see that black cloud? And they were like, oh, hush, Shawn, we don't see nothing. I was always the outcast too in all the different religions. I was never the one fitting in. I was always the outsider. And I'm like, I see this big black cloud. They're like, oh, we don't, whatever you're talking about. I said, she's not at home. She's in that house over there. Oh, hush, Shawn, hush. So we all get out the car and lo and behold, the lady walks out of the house. So long story short, we go into her house. I do all the things that the spirit is telling me to do with this lady. And the man of the house, he walked into the room as I was praying and I told him to get out. And he was very upset. But the spirit told me to tell him to get out because his spirit was wrong. He couldn't be in there. So when we come out of the room, everybody, it was like I could see little pieces of fire. Like people were in huddle. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going too fast. When I went into the room, it was a whole bunch of people in this house, like 30 people, and they weren't really talking to each other. And when we came out of the room, these people were huddled up in like 2s or 3s, and I could see like little licks of fire over each of these little groups. And I was like, what is happening? And the guy that brought us there, the leader of the group or whatever, he goes, these people haven't been talking to each other. Some people in this room have had beefs with each other for years, like 10, 15 years, and now they're talking. And all I felt was so much love in the room, and I just got so overwhelmed and I started crying. And then that was just, the spirit just started to tell me how to heal people from that point on. They would just come out of nowhere and I would just be used to heal them. It was amazing.
Wow. Quite a story.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, but I had a similar thing. I worked in a Christian church in Boston for about, I guess, 8 or 9 years as a tour guide, and then I was an assistant manager. But I'm a heck of a tarot card reader, and I'm like you. I mean, it's hard. And so then one day I said to myself, that can be like my religion, that I fall back on, but doesn't have to be my total self. And that's what a lot of religions do. They try to make you conform, and you can't do anything outside of the way they like to do it.
Yeah, because it scares them.
It does scare them. Yes.
I believe that now, because if you're bold enough to hear the spirit and act on it, and you don't care what other people think about you, that scares other people that don't have that kind of spirit.
It's true.
They think that they thought that I was seeking attention or I was trying to, and I'm like, no, I don't care what you all think about me. I'm doing what I hear spirit telling me to do.
Yeah, but the downside to that is, I mean, did you lose a lot of friends to it being yourself?
I didn't really have them. Anyway, they didn't really like me in the first place.
They were really friends to begin with. Yeah. But it stirs them up, doesn't it? Oh, it's the darndest thing. Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
It's interesting about crystal quartz. Do you know who Edgar Casey is? Have you ever heard of him?
Yes.
Yeah, so he actually said in one of his readings that crystal quartz is the untapped potential that human beings are not using even 1/4% worth right now. And if you follow anything with Atlantis, in Atlantis, they were actually using quartz crystal for all of their technology. Everything with technology had to do with quartz crystal. And so it's just, I was kind of curious on your point of view on it, on the untapped potentials of quartz crystal.
Like I said, if this is a crystal that actually grows in the ground, that you can go and dig it out of the ground and program it to do whatever you want it to do. That's super powerful. Yeah. Yes, and you put your intentions in it, whatever the intention is. If it's negative or positive, it's still going to take it and do it. So yes, that's a very powerful crystal. They use it in watches now, right? Don't they put their quartz watches and whatnot to keep the time? You know,
keep the time.
You know, we know there's no time. You know, and so that's basically clear quartz being used negatively to keep us trapped in time.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't keep time very well either. But so if I took this quartz crystals, like, cause you know, we do blueprints and we manifest things. I mean, would we have better success if we had this as we were like writing them and like putting our intentions into this?
Yes. It is a beautiful, powerful crystal. And I have them all over my altar up here. I have like big clusters of them all over. They're all over. And come to find out, moving here to Arkansas, this is the #1 clear quartz crystal in the country. Clear quartz crystal hub, or whatever I'm trying to say. This is where you find them. They're actually outside. When it rains, I can go outside to the bottom of a tree trunk and do a little bit of digging, and the clear quartz crystals will just pop up.
Wow.
All over.
So amazing. So amazing. There's another income revenue for you.
Right.
Dig them up and sell them.
Dig them up and sell
them.
I'll buy one from you.
Yeah, we'll buy it. Put it on there. It'll be my next order.
That's what's up.
Well, I love your divine inspired jewelry. I love how spirit comes to you and shows you what each individual person needs. That's why I always, if I'm working with the spiritual healer, I always, if they say, what do you want to work on? I say, oh no, whatever is most important, like whatever the top priority is, because even though I may have some issues that I think is important in this 3D reality, that has nothing to do with the bigger grand scheme of things. And I can't see that sometimes. So I always say, you know, let you tap into my higher self and you tell me what I need to do and what I need to release. And I kind of like to do that with other people too. Like as an energy healer, you know, people come in with their, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I say, okay, well, let's ask your higher self.
Exactly. I always do that. Always.
Yeah.
When he just said, I'm sorry, Adam, when you just said, you know, what would you subscribe for me? I'm like, well, I have to talk to you first. I need to have a dialogue. Prescribe, because I feel like a doctor prescribing medicine, you know.
Yeah.
So I can know what you need.
That's cute.
Same with the cards. When the people, oh, can you read me? I'm like, well, first off, I only use oracle cards. I just don't connect with tarot. But I connect with oracle, and it's not like ask me questions. Or you ask a question and you just have to let me tell you what spirit wants to tell you with the cards.
Yeah.
If you're down with that, then cool. But other than that, like, I don't know your life. I don't know when you're going to die. I don't know if you're going to be pregnant. I don't know about when. I don't know any of that.
Yeah, no. People ask that. It's like, no, I don't want to make predictions.
I don't do that. I'm not a psychic. I hear what spirit is telling me. I can hear it and I can feel it intuitively. And I can see things. That's about it. But I don't see spirits. Thank goodness, because I'd probably be a little freaked out.
You know, it's so funny. I say that all the time. Adam and I, we work together and we release demons, like sometime an infinity amount of demons each day. And I said, you know, I'm so glad I don't have the gift of sight to see them, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do my work.
Right.
So I just go in, we release them, we transmute their negative energy into good energy. And that's why I love that stone that you picked out for me. As soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, that's the one I need, because I'm doing it daily.
Yeah.
So
I have a perception of demons and angels that I came to reading this book called The Owaspy. And it's like, so angels are once mortal beings. They used to, you know, so they're mortals that have passed on, and some of them are in lower energies and some of them are in higher energies. And so if you come across what's called a druger or a low energy vibration, it's probably someone that didn't overcome a lot of things in their physical, or they passed away quickly, they didn't know they're dead, you know, a lot of that, you know, or they were egotistical, or they were very selfish or mean. If they were like that in their physical and they didn't overcome it in their physical, then they took it right into the spiritual, and it's and they're still negative, but they can be redeemed. That's the thing. Like all of us can be redeemed. Like there's no, this is my understanding, I'm not pushing it on nobody or whatever, but we all can be redeemed. And there's no like, oh, you're gonna go to hell, you know, you're gonna burn in fire for the rest of eternity. That's ridiculous. Creator would never do anything like that. You have nothing but time to redeem yourself. So the number one thing that I realized in my coming into my spiritual journey this time was the number one thing I need to master in my body is patience. Because if I'm an eternal being and me, Deshawn, is going to be here, you know, existing for all of eternity, then you have to have patience. Because if you don't have any patience and you have all eternity, what are you going to do? You're going to like burn yourself out, like, and be stuck somewhere looking stupid. So I'm really trying to cultivate patience so I can take that with me to my afterlife, because it's going to be a long time.
Do you have, is there a stone specifically that helps with having patience?
Well, right now for me, I'm using my clear quartz. I mean, not my clear quartz, sorry, my rose quartz. My rose quartz, because it helps me have compassion and understanding. And so when I have compassion and understanding, then that automatically leads to patience. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do with that one. And then, like I said, clear quartz is always the go-to number one wherever you can. I need patience. Put it in stone. You know, good to go. But when you ask for patience, you're going to be tried.
Right. Be real careful. I say be careful what you ask for.
In the oh, that's where we got an echo. Is that you, Nicole?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just wondering. One time I was like holding a stone, and it cracked, and I heard that means something, and now I don't remember what that means. Do you know what that means when you're?
You know what kind of quartz it was?
It was a purple quartz, amethyst, I think.
Okay. So, amethyst is the stone for intuition, and it's also good for mental clarity. It's good for calming anxiety and sleep. So if you were holding it and it cracked, more times out of 10, your energy was stronger than the energy in the crystal, and it couldn't handle it and it broke. That's really just the no spooky thing about it. You just had some really powerful energy that day, and the piezo energy inside the crystal wasn't strong enough to absorb it, and it just cracked. That was it.
Okay, because I just thought that was so crazy, like, because I was just holding it and it literally cracked, and I was like, okay, what is happening right now?
And you were very powerful. If you had known, you should have made a manifestation like right then. I wonder what you were thinking. You should go back to that time and think about what you were thinking and where you were and what, because you were very powerful at that moment.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I have a good sized chunk of the pyramid in Egypt. My mother has had a cousin. There's a note in it, and it's 1903, which was a long time ago. And there's woman used to travel the world, and she went to Egypt. And back then, I guess you could grab a piece of the pyramid. Different time. And I just wonder sometimes if I could do something with it to either manifest more, or if it's got to, because it comes right out of the ancient pyramid of those fascinating people.
From what I understand, that's granite. I think it's granite. Is it granite?
You can see little shells in it. It actually looks like little tiny shells embedded in it. It's kind of gray, but yeah, it's not granite. No, it's almost like I think sandstone or something that's got little shells embedded in it.
I think it's rock quarry, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I would have to research that before I give you like
I feel like it must have some kind of energy I could tap
into. It does,
into.
but I don't know exactly what, because I haven't come across that.
Yeah.
In my intuitive mind, I'm thinking you could wrap some copper around it. Wrap some copper around it and put it in some kind of resin. I would put that in resin and make that into an organ, because if you squeeze whatever energy is in that stone and you squeezing it, it's going to be very powerful. I would do that. That's probably something I would look into, and you can do that yourself.
Yeah, because I keep thinking there's got to be some way to, you know, use this piece of the pyramid too.
Good. That would be freaking powerful.
Yeah.
And then the argon, you make it into a pyramid.
Or you can make it into any kind of shape that you want. The shapes do have power. However, it's really just the fact of the resin squeezing the crystals and the organic matter to make the energy.
Yeah, I don't know what's in this. This one has gold flakes in it, plus the brass has a coil. I don't know what kind of stone. This is kind of like
aventurine. That looks like that's aventurine and fluorite. And so aventurine is attracting money and prosperity. It's good for your heart chakra because it's green. And what else is aventurine too? I forgot the other one. And fluorite, it also attracts money.
Oh, nice.
So that's a money pyramid.
I need to hold it in my pocket.
Yeah, that would go like on a prosperity.
This one my friend made me because she makes organs, and this was just one that she had created. She was just playing around with them, and I loved the little kind of brooch on the front, and I was like, oh, I think that one wants to go home with me. So she sent it to me.
That looks like obsidian on top. Those crystals.
I think so. Yeah. So like you said, it could be any shape. These are a different shape that she created for me.
Any shape. It's just you just want the resin, because the resin is squeezing to get that energy out of it. Yep.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the pyramids are also made of limestone.
That's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's limestone.
Yeah, I just Googled it. Limestone, pink granite, basalt, and something else like mud brick.
Wow.
Limestone. Let me write that down. That might be one I want to look into.
I don't know what basalt is, but it's BASALT.
BASLAT. ALT. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, salt. Okay. Well, you guys taught me something.
Yeah, I love
to learn.
When you were talking about the using the crystal and amethyst, I've done things with stones before, and my one brother who's since passed on was really a heavy alcoholic, and when he lived with my mom, she's like, isn't there something you can do with the stone? So we made him a necklace with amethyst and crystal, because when you got the amethyst, you can't drink.
Exactly.
And every time he would drink with the amethyst, he'd get sick.
Oh wow, that's interesting to know.
And so he cut down his drinking for a long time before he figured out what it was.
Interesting.
I forgot about that. It was the stone. They called it the sobering stone, and they used it in the ancient Egyptian times as well to curb addictions and stuff. I forgot about that. It does do that.
That's so cool, because that's my purpose, is to help people get out of addiction. So if they could have a little amethyst on them, that may help too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, nice. I'm gonna write that down. I have an interview after this with someone who was in addiction before, and she's clean and sober now, but we're interviewing her. Awesome. Well, I learned something new today too. I learned a lot, but that was I learned a lot today.
Yeah, very.
It is fascinating.
I'm so interested in stones. When I went to Mexico, I went to Chichen Itza, and I got this, and I can't remember what kind of stone it is, but it's got the gold flakes in it, and you can.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can only see the gold flakes when you submerge it in salt water, and it turns gold. If you put regular water in it, you can't see it, but it has to be salt water, and then you can see it. It goes from black to all gold.
Wow.
I think that's goldstone.
I can't remember the name that they used it, but there was a shaman that was there that was selling them, and they weren't cheap. That was like $200, and it was so awesome. And he said, "There's fake ones, and here's a fake one, and here's a real one on the difference on them." And so this one means prosperity and wealth, and he did a blessing on it or whatever before we bought it. So it was really, really cool on how he did it. And it wasn't like your normal tourist spot. Like it was like in this small little village where this one shaman was, and you could feel the energy when you just kind of talked to him, and like hardly anyone was talking to him, and I sort of drifted over. And he showed me these things, and he was showing me the difference. And I'm like, wow, that is so cool.
That is cool. Heck yeah. I kind of feel like a little shaman in Little Rock, because they don't, not too many people are into it. In Hot Springs, they love the crystals and stuff. But where I am, people are kind of closed off to this kind of stuff because they're, Bible thumpers. So I kind of feel like that. That's cool. That's super cool. It's pretty too. I like the carvings on that.
Yeah, it's so detailed on it. Like it's hard to see through Zoom, but it is so detailed. And me and my wife actually both got one each because we fell in love with it right away.
That's so awesome. Well, Deshawn, we thank you so much for being with us, and I know your time is so valuable. How can people find you if they wanted to have you create jewelry for them?
You can find me at the DeshawnLaFayeExperience.com.
Okay.
So it's THEDESHAWNLAFAYE experience.com.
Okay, cool. We're going to put that in the description in the video. And then I invite you to share this video. I'm going to get you the link to this video, and then I invite you to share. Put it on your Facebook, share it on all your social media so people can know what you do. And then you and I are going to come up with a day and a time to do your online jewelry party where we can invite, whoever wants to join us and have fun.
Yes, that'll be awesome. I love that. Oh, I'm so thankful that you all brought me on. And I didn't even realize I knew as much stuff as I know until I started talking.
Well, you just start talking and it just comes out. So yeah. Well, we thank you again. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And so thanks to our viewers for being with us tonight. Please, if you haven't, like and subscribe to our channel. If you really liked what we saw today and with Deshawn and all her knowledge about crystals, please share this with your friends so they can get some education too. We thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys again on Friday for our open topic.
All right. It was nice